This is Jeannie, and I'm really excited about showing you some of these things that I've had in my family for a long time, as well as some things that were passed down through my great grandparents to my dad, um, and then, of course, to me. And some of these things are from my husband's family, and I'll go over those and show them to you. These are really old books, really old books. And, through the moves that we've had in the past several decades, I'm sure they haven't been cared for like they should have been. And I feel bad about that, but sometimes you don't know what you have, and we have a huge collection of books. So these now have been put aside. My hands are really, really clean and very, very dry because I don't want to put any oils on them, on the pages. So anyway, there's no particular order, but I'll go over a couple of these with you. This one is called Alamo and Other Verses. And the thing that I love about this is my father could recite poetry, and it was so beautiful. He had the most beautiful voice. He passed away in 2009. And when he sang, or when he read, or when he recited poetry from heart, it was so beautiful. So these things have a very special place in my heart. So this is Alamo and Other Verses. And the inscription is February 1912. And I can't quite read it. For dear Mrs. Ives, and I don't know who that is, from something. I can't read that. February 1912. And this book is doesn't say, let's see. It looks like it's a lot of poems, like from the Southwest. The Southwest, in the times of settling the West. So I don't see the year on this, but we know it's at least, 1912 just from this inscription. Let me see if it's in the back somewhere. No, I don't see it. So this is one. Alamo and Other Verses. Another one that my father liked is The Bells of San Juan by Jackson Gregory. Now, this obviously got wet or had some sort of pest damage. I don't know, but I feel bad, but there it is. And this I love these pictures. Look at these. Aren't those beautiful? Aren't those beautiful? Illustrations by Frank Tenney Johnson, 1919. That's when this was written. The Bells of San Juan. So that's another one. And that is not good. Okay, now these I've actually been reading a little bit of on some previous videos. I haven't read this one yet, but I introduced it. And this is Amy Vanderbilt's Complete Book of Etiquette. Complete Book of Etiquette. And there are things in there. This was my grandmother's. So there's a wedding invitation in there. She was probably comparing the invitation to how it was supposed to be, because that would be my grandmother. She wasn't a nice person, remember? So this one goes all over exactly who to write to, or how to address a letter of correspondences, how to set a table, home entertaining, dress and manners, the ceremonies of life. See, here's wedding invitations and announcements. So knowing my grandmother, she probably got this. This is 1967. She probably took it out and compared it, like what they did or didn't do right. So that's this. I love these old book jackets. Okay, so, and then the other one that I actually did read from was Household Discoveries and Mrs. Curtis's Cookbook. And this is from this last one was 1952. Okay, I forgot to tell you that. This one is 1908. And so you can see they have sketches and drawings. I love this. This is how to make your own air conditioning, because obviously air conditioning wasn't in homes at that time. And so what you do is you put a wet, towel over an open window. So I love some of these things. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is what we look like when we do housework, right? What to do, making a garden, making a modern bedroom. Oh my goodness. How to clean a kitchen table. And what I love about this is there are actual recipes of how to make things, soaps and shampoos, body soaps, laundry soaps and softening things, as well as, canning and what had to be done back then, weights and measures. This is really in beautiful shape, and I'm going to make sure that it stays in good shape. Take good care of it. Okay, now I'm going to show you some really special ones. And this is actually from my husband's family, and this is his family Bible. And that, I think, is his great-grandmother. That's his great-grandmother. And this is an interesting Bible. It's called a Teacher's Self-Pronouncing Reference Edition. So maybe she taught Sunday school or something like that, but she did a lot of writing in this Bible. I guess I was thumbing through it. not only do I see writing in all the margins, but I see some of her notes here. And just writing down proverbs and various passages, I think that were probably just important to her. And so these notes are very, very precious. And you can see all her writing. Her little notes. So this, like I said, is my husband's, one of their family Bibles. And this beautiful, beautiful leather binding is just, oh, so gorgeous. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, now I'll show you another one. I've got, this one is embossed with his grandmother's name, so I just put that over there. And I don't know the year on this. I didn't see the year. Look at the pretty gold on the side of the, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. This gold. And she did not fill this out as much as the other one did. And then there are some birth dates and years. But it does not give a year of when this came out. But this is also a beautiful leather binding. And this will be well taken care of. Okay, so now I'm going to show you something really special, and I'm not going to flip through it too much because I might damage it, but watch this. Look at this. Look at that. Look how thick that is. And this is like a wood or something, and it's so old, it's falling apart. So I don't want to. It's from 1846. See that? 1846, and the pages are very, very worn. And so I don't know if there are any inscriptions in the front. Yes, there are. And that was, I think, one of his great-great-grandmothers. So I don't want to flip through this because this is not in good shape. My husband's father gave this to him before he passed away. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so now I'm going to show you something from my grandmother, the not so nice one. And this is called the Glories of the Catholic Church. The Glories of the Catholic Church. And it's actually a beautiful book. Look how thick that is. Wow. Look at that. Whoa. It weighs a ton. And so this is from that's my grandmother. I'm trying to find a year. This is the Glories of the Catholic Church, the Catholic Christian instructed in defense of his faith. 1894. So this was probably given to my grandmother by her parents because my grandmother was born in 1900. So this was from before she was born in the 1890s. So I just wanted to show this to you. The progress of the gospel, the church in America, which, the Catholic Church back in the late 1800s was, very influenced by the Irish Catholic, which, we were, and the Italian, Roman Catholic church. And so the interpretation of Holy Scripture, I really would love to sit down and go through some of this. Oh, look at these old pictures. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? When I was a little girl, there was an old Bible we had, and it had beautiful color pictures. And I used to cut them out of the Bible and tape them around my bed because I had nightmares. And so I thought they protected me, the pictures. So let's see if there's some others that I can show you. Oh yeah. So here's one. Scenes of Egypt. Anyway, this is, just talk about a piece of history. This is gorgeous. This is just so beautiful. Okay, whoops. Knock my camera. Now I'm going to show you. Let me push that aside. Let's see. We did this. Oh, look at this. The Coral Island. Look at that beautiful spine. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. And this was my father's. I don't know who this is. William something or other for good conduct and regular something in the year of 1899. So that would have been my grandfather in Mendocino, I believe. And look at these beautiful pictures. Oh my goodness. Look at that. And it's protected by a little piece of tissue paper. The Coral Island. A Tale of the Pacific Ocean. 1899. Oh my gosh, that is just beautiful. And not in the greatest of shape, but the spine, the book binding is still good. So I'll make sure this is taken well care of. It says R.M. Ballantyne's Books for Boys. I used to read the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, but I purposely read the Hardy Boy books because they were about boys, and I thought that's not right, that's not fair. Girls can read Hardy Boy books. Okay, so let me check this one. This isn't super old, but this is interesting. It's the San Francisco earthquake in 1906, and my grandmother was alive during that period of time, and she remembers that she was 6 years old. Look at the pictures. This is, I believe, from the 1970s. Yeah, 1971. So it's not antique, but it does go over the entire history of what happened that day in San Francisco. The last big earthquake in San Francisco was the Loma Prieta earthquake, which was actually centered in Loma Prieta, which is near Santa Cruz. And I don't know if many of you remember that. Parts of the Bay Bridge, the Bay Bridge collapsed. It was during the games. It was the A's and the Giants, the baseball game. What do you call that? The World Series. And so, being from the Bay Area of California, I was in that earthquake, and that was something else. So, okay, so now let me show you another one. I had this wrapped up. It's called The American Woman's Cookbook, and I'll go through and make sure it's not too loud. I don't know if plastic is good for a book or not. Oh, I see, because the binding was so bad, that's why I had it wrapped up. So I'm not going to, oh my goodness. Oh, look at this, candies. This is 1939. Oh my goodness. Lots of recipes, but you know what? I don't want to go through this because of how bad the spine is. But I just wanted to show that to you. So I think I'm going to wrap that back up in plastic. Now, piece de resistance. I'm going to show you right now. I keep it in this. This is a treasure, and I've saved the best for last. Look at this. Look at this. This is super old, and it is from 1786. And what it is, it's called the Worcester magazine, and it's a compilation of all the writings, and they were put into a magazine in Worcester, Massachusetts, about what was going on with the state of the war with the Indians. That's what it says in here. It's got poems. All the S's are written with F's. Look at this. There are progress updates from General Washington, President Washington. Remember that? And summary of late intelligence. So 1786. This is an amazing piece of history. And I don't want to thumb through it too much, but you know what's in here? Or also there's a doctor wrote in to the Worcester magazine. I guess it was a monthly, maybe possibly a weekly, and he talked about a woman who had 5 children, 5 babies, and they all lived. Think about that. There wasn't, a NICU. There wasn't, the hospitals like we have now. So I'm going to find that, and I'm going to show you, because I cannot believe, I still can't believe 5 babies that lived. There's land for sale here. And like I said, updates on what they called the war with the Indians. This is just so beautiful. And so here, for instance, the Worcester magazine, the fourth week in November of 1786. History of the late war in America. And it's giving just updates on things. Any insurrections, because, remember, we were having a lot of issues with, becoming a country. Look at all this. This is so amazing. So I think I'll go through another time and pick out some various articles. I want to find where those quintuplets were born, because that would be the oldest case that I know of or I've ever heard of. So this is an absolute treasure. Isn't that beautiful? And I wish it were in better shape, but it is what it is. 1786. Wow. 236 years old. Whew. Anyway, I just wanted to share my collection of really old books with you, and I hope you like that. And I'm going to put all the precious ones away back in the plastic to protect them. Let me know what you think, and like and subscribe and help me grow my channel. I truly appreciate you, and I will come back to you in the next video. Have a great night.